morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We're in our Christmas journal and it's day 15. Let's get this thing unwrapped and get going. So I'm going to attempt to do all of them in watercolor today on watercolor paper cut to journal card size. The first one I'm going to try to do is Artsy Advent, and she had like a Christmas pudding, which I don't know. I'm painting mine pretty close to what she did because I don't know Christmas pudding. Um, I know that's dessert, I think, in other parts of the world, and I don't know if this was like a figgy pudding or a, what do you call it? Persimmon pudding, whatever. I just did it close to what she did. And actually, for not knowing what this is, I'm okay with it. It seemed like she kind of ended up with a grungy background, and I copied that, but mine's a little too grungy. But other than that, I'm okay with it. And I'm having to do this all in stages because it's watercolor and it takes time to dry. And so in between others, I work on others and vice versa. And I had to get my watercolor fix. So I did them all in watercolor. And I so do love doing this. I wish I was better. I'm getting better. Last year I was not anywhere near this. So I'm trying to find some candles. And that seems like an easy task, but yeah, right. We're talking me here. So I do paint my candles, and I'm using that colored pencil just because I see other people do that, and it kind of blends in with the background once you start painting. And here I'm trying to draw a snowflake, which this gives me the worst trouble of all of them. You would think this one would have been the easiest one, not so much. And the prompt is blizzard, and so I'm interpreting blizzard as snowflake. Again, the hardest time. So until I can figure out what to do with that snowflake, I'm keep going on this. And now I'm mixing in a lot of water with some gray to make a really faint background, which that's not so faint, but it works out faint. And in hindsight, I wish I had left the background a little bit more faint, but it's done. It's okay. It looks okay to me. I wasn't going for perfection because I'm not a perfectionist. And I'm trying to draw a snow background. Blizzard, right? On that one. So here's me trying to do candles in varied colors. And believe it or not, it was supposed to be red, green, and like a gold. Yeah, so much for that. But I like this one too in the end. And in the end, I turned them all into kind of a sketchy, scratchy look. And I like that look. I like to do that, especially with my travel journals. And I just like the sketchbook look, urban sketcher. And in all of this, I'm trying to keep practicing. So, um, arts or December daily was, what was that? What did she call it? Where's my book? Oh, shoot. Oh, here it is. She called it For the Love. I guess like for the love of the holiday. I put for the love of art. And I keep adding color to my pudding part of my pudding or the cake part or whatever that is. And adding red berries to my holly that's in that background. I like all of them in the end. It took a lot to get one the way I wanted it, but and it was changed several times. But I do like it, and I'm trying to dry the snow and work on a snowflake. Oh, this was difficult. Now it kind of looks the combination of an Aztec Indian design and a psychiatrist ink blot. I don't know. It was just going from bad to worse, and I didn't like it. I didn't know how I was going to correct it. So I just, instead of splattering or sprinkling, I just dotted all different kinds of color because for the love of art would include every single color and as much as you can get it for me. Back to the pudding in the background. This is where I kind of did the background a little too dark, or some of it. But in the end, I'm able to control my watercolor a tad more. If I was a better drawer, that would help also. Um, but practice, practice, practice every day. A little bit. I try to, maybe not always with watercolor, but some kind of form here. And that's going to draw again. I'm trying to add some highlights to my candles, which kind of backfired, but again, I'm okay with all of it, really. At least now I know what highlight means and where it goes, usually, sometimes, and it all works. So I'm trying to get super close so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm taking my Stabilo woodies and using paint right directly off of them, trying to add some more color to the background and not interfere with paint. Hopefully that has dried. So I had shades of gray. Now I'm putting a shade of brown in there and kind of grunging it up a little bit. And I don't say hers is grunge, it just has a darker background. And the brown is really um, making the holly stand out, making the edges stand out, which is kind of what she was going for, I think, what I'm trying to go for too. So now I'm trying to add a little blue to the frosting, just enough to make it not bright white. Oh, and this is off camera. I forgot I was that close. And I'm just putting Stabilo all around the edges of everything to give them borders. Right there, you can see a tad bit of it. And boy, oh boy, is that snowflake pitiful. Isn't this an interesting camera angle? Great filming. But I'm still doing it. I think I might cut this off. Oh, here I go. Okay. I was not trying to be totally messy, but that's kind of how it came out. So it is what it is. But it all looks okay in the end. And I'm pretty sure this is where I start adding ink, sketchy ink outlines to the candles, or to all of it. I like the art card though. I didn't even watch her video, I think, just because the title spurred this in me. What brings you joy? Is that what I said? Or for the love of it, for the love of art, yeah. And tomorrow's video might have, it's a lot of music prompts and Christmas carols and stuff, and you might get a little person doing her interpretation of it, hopefully. She didn't come last night because she got in trouble. So, all right, major fact here. If you didn't see, I turned the card over and I'm starting over. And I have color that has seeped into the background, and I'm adding more color with the neon color trues and the Stabilo woodies, and I'm trying to make it look like a whiteout from snow. And I'm going to add my sketchy, scratchy edges to the pudding also here. And some little just dots. I don't know, sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles, I don't know. So now I'm going around the edges with my Stabilo, no, my Neocolor 2s, and kind of trying to make that background stand out a little bit more. then I'm going to take a brush and try to filter that in a little bit more. The background is grungy, a little bit too grungy on the brown side, but it's okay. So back to my grunge that I turned into a whiteout. I was trying to do a tiny bit of a house that I was going to make real fuzzy and blurry. Like you can barely make out the house in the whiteout slash blizzard. And that's definitely darker than what I wanted to do. But I'm going to let it, nope, don't let it dry. I'm going to blur the lines a little bit and just make it, oh yeah, there's a house over there. Let's go see if we can get some hot chocolate. Well, it works, sort of. So now I'm trying to put a little bit more of it back in. The background is not showing up as much as it really is in real life. It's more gray with colors in the background, which I'm fine with all of that. So I like that method of what was happening there. So I went with a tree and a trunk. Um, yeah, yep, 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 yep. That's not turning out as well as I liked, but yeah, okay, okay. Let's see what happens when it dries. Barely can see the tree and the house in the whiteout. And unless you had this explanation, you wouldn't know that's what's happening. And you wouldn't know it started out as a snowflake on the other side. So I think I let that dry just a tad. Oh, look at that paper towel. Look at that paper towel. That could be a blizzard right there. So pretty. So I'm going to let it dry. So here we have them all in. Um, my whiteout for blizzard. Uh, and thanks for watching. That's my Instagram account where you can see it closer up. Those are the ones I'm working on, and I'll see you all tomorrow.